Hello, my loved ones, and welcome back to Any Percent, the only podcast capable of creating altered items. My name is Evan Sampson. I am your host, and I am joined by my two lovely co-hosts, Kody Mosley.
Hi, guys.
And Casper Karen.
How's it going, guys?
I'm trying to bring the energy, trying to, you know, like,
Yeah.
someone commented on one of our videos, like, you guys seem sleepy. And I was like, oh, fuck. She knows that we're recording it late. Guys, what's up? What have you been playing?
I've been
How
playing.
about whoever?
Yeah, I'm just cutting in. I started playing Valheim lately. That new game that came out.
Yeah,
It's pretty fun. It's,
Viking Minecraft.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm mostly just getting into the building. Like, there's combat and stuff, but it's not that good. I mostly just like building the Viking huts and all that, you know?
Was it made by? I think it was made by like a super small team, right? Like,
Yeah, it was like 3 people.
like three
Really small,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And now it has, I think,
That's nuts.
as of the making of this video, it's like 4 million people have bought the game.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Blew up.
It blew up crazy.
Do you play it mostly by yourself or like with people?
No, a bunch of friends all paid into a server, so we just have one running all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is that how it works? Is that like the only way you can play, or can you play it on your own?
No, you can play single player, and you can also just like host it from the game.
Mm-hmm.
But then as soon as
Got
you
it.
leave the game, it's off.
Right. Sick.
Yeah, it's
Kody,
pretty
what
fun.
about you? What have you been playing?
I played Valheim with Casper like in my first session with it, but I haven't been able to join the boys. Been real busy. I think other than that, I've been playing some like mainstays on my Switch. So games like Diablo 3
Mhm.
on the Switch, you know, just turn your brain off after a long day and just
Working hard.
get some better loot. Yeah, that sort of thing. And then I've also been playing Ultimate Alliance 3.
I got that when it came out, and I was like, that'll probably be fun. I don't think it's that fun.
You don't think it's that fun? I think it's the exact same thing as Diablo 3, right?
Yeah.
Just like turn your brain off and like level up Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Like
In what other game
I
can you
don't
level
know
up
what the
Peter
hell's going on
Parker?
with the story. Right. But yeah, that's been pretty much it for me.
Just a Switch guy.
pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I've been Switch life over here.
Nice. I've been playing. I got an Oculus Quest. It's in my background for the visual learners. That's what I'm gonna call our YouTube viewers now, visual learners. I got that on Friday, so yesterday, and it's like pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. I almost threw up last night. I was playing Phasmophobia with 2 of my friends, which was awesome, super fun. Like, but you move using the sticks instead of like doing like a teleport type thing or what have you. And it was good at first. It was good when we were just hanging out in the lobby, but then when I had to like navigate a house, like I just got so sick. We had to give up on the first mission we took on because I was like, guys, I literally can't keep playing. I have to switch to desktop. But I've never really done VR before that, so I think it was maybe just a little too advanced VR for me. But
Do you have
sick.
to make a Facebook account to use Oculus now?
yes, you sure do.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, good thing I never deleted my Facebook. I haven't updated my profile picture in 4 years, but
I have like a legacy account with Oculus, so I haven't had to update it yet.
oh, I don't
But,
know, yeah, if you would have to or not.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make you, so everything works. I don't know though if like eventually they're gonna make me use a Facebook account.
What do you have, a Rift?
Yeah, I have the wait, no, is that the name of the old one? Like the original?
The original was just the Rift.
Yeah, Oculus, right?
And now
Yeah,
there's the
okay.
Rift S, which is their like newer one that hooks into the computer. And then I got the Quest
Right.
2, which has like a computer on it. So like I downloaded Beat Saber onto that thing, so I can play Beat Saber. I can play Beat Saber at your fucking grandmother's house if I wanted to. You can't stop me.
At her funeral.
I mine has got
Playing the
character-
Linkin Park music pack at your grandmother's funeral. Bleed it out.
Yeah, dude, that's sick.
You can actually see the camera like pinned up over there.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right.
So I got them
Rad.
all around.
My buddy has the Index, which he likes, but it was like I was not about
big
to drop
boy.
a grand
Yeah.
on that. So that thing was
Yeah.
$300, and then I paid a little extra for like a nicer kind of strap. Yeah, I think it's
Strap.
called the Elite strap.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty cool. And what else have I been playing? I haven't actually been playing that many video games. So pretty much that's like the most interesting thing I've been up to with video games.
You got to get Super Hot.
Oh, I have it. I haven't tried it yet. I have it
That
though.
one's cool.
Yeah,
That's fun.
I'm excited to try it.
Super Hot.
No, tonight is VR chat. After we finish wrapping this call, I'm gonna try out VR chat. We'll see how that goes.
Do you remember like when that Knuckles
Yeah.
meme was going around? It was like a little short
Yeah,
Knuckles.
that's all. That's from VR chat, right? Isn't that where that originated?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's when, because it lets you play VR chat without a VR headset.
Right.
That game's a trip, dude.
I'm like
That
pretty
game's,
excited. Like I don't know how you like get
It's,
the
like,
models for
insane.
it, but like I'm sure there's like a website that just has them and then will give me a virus, but it's worth it for the models.
It's like it should all be contained like within the game.
I don't think it
they
is,
have like
though,
these
is it?
servers you can go to, and you just like right click
Oh.
on whatever skin you have, and you just become like
Oh,
Patrick
cool.
Star.
I thought there
It's
was.
great.
I remember there was
Yeah.
like. I remember reading when it came out that there was some kind of like you needed to like have a model that was like exported from like an old version of Unity to get it to work at like one point.
Oh,
but
weird.
maybe that's
Yeah, I
probably not the
It's
case
pretty
anymore.
seamless. I mean,
I think you
haven't
can do
played, like,
both. Like you can
maybe
upload
2
your
years.
own, or you can go to a server and just take whatever they have.
Got it. Yeah. I think I'll try to find a naked snake, or perhaps solid snake, or perhaps solidus snake, or perhaps liquid snake, or perhaps old snake. Really, any of the
Hideo
snakes
Kojima, just
I'll
like-
take. But yeah. So, boys, gentlemen, fellow hosts, we played Control for this episode. Big twist. We were supposed to play Outer Wilds, but due to some scheduling conflicts, we have decided to save Outer Wilds for the next week or the next episode. Control was an easy choice because I coincidentally was playing it because it was free on PS Plus. So I beat it just before Kody actually recommended it. So I probably am the one who got the farthest in the game out of all of us.
Yeah, I mean, I had beat it in a while ago, but replaying it again for this episode, I probably got about maybe like 5 hours in, maybe. So
It's not bad. It'll be interesting because I have no notes. I'm usually, for the listeners, I'm a big note taker. I sometimes reveal my Animal Crossing notebook on camera, but since I was playing this for myself, I didn't take any notes. So we'll see how it goes, We'll see. So yeah, Control was released in 2019 for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And then in 2020, it came out for the Switch, running in the cloud, which is pretty crazy that they were able to like figure that out on the Switch. Yeah, whoa. And then in February, it came out for the current gen, next gen, whatever you want to call it. At what point do we refer to the PS5 and Xbox One S as current gen? They're still next gen, I feel. Anyway. So
yeah, that's a tough question.
I was playing that on
current.
PS5. I believe Casper was playing it on the PC, right?
Yeah.
And Kody, what about you?
Played on
PS5.
PS5 for the replay.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So
Oh,
the game's, just to finish up my quick synopsis of it, published by 505, developed by Remedy, the creators of Max Payne, Alan Wake, Quantum Break, and this. And yeah, I guess let's just get into it, man. Let's just go nuts. Let's go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first thing, right? If you were playing this on the PS4, where I originally played it, this game, you could tell it's like at the very end of the PS4. I guess like like it's pushing as much as it can.
Yeah,
Out of
yeah.
Right.
it. So like a lot of frame rate dips. It chugs. Like even pulling up the map, it would take like 20 seconds to pull
Oh,
up the
really?
map. Yeah, it's pretty rough on PS4, but I gotta tell you, dude, PS5,
It's buttery smooth on PS5.
one's like
yeah.
butter, dude. It's so I guess my first question, Evan, is were you playing on
Yes, I played it on
performance mode?
performance. I didn't
Or
like
you-
I didn't like
Yeah.
30 FPS for it, especially with like having to like aim a gun in 30 FPS just felt kind of
Yeah.
weird. In general, I
sure.
go for the performance modes. The only thing I like make the exception for so far on the PS5 was Spider-Man Miles Morales, just because the
Yep.
Spider-Man on PS4 also ran at 30 and there was no choice, and I kind of just like I'm used to how that looks at this point, like swinging around New
Right.
York at 30 FPS. So
So what's the other mode? Just like looks?
yeah. So you can do 30 FPS with ray tracing, 4K, and then I think I don't think performance mode runs at 4K. I think it runs at 1080p or maybe like a checkerboard 4K.
Maybe. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I definitely. For me, dude, if you give me higher frame rate, I'll take that every time. Especially because I think in Spider-Man, that's not really like it's already a great looking
Yeah.
game. And I think with the ray tracing, like you can see yourself in like
Buildings.
the reflection on the buildings, and I was like, you're always swinging right past it.
Yeah.
You're gonna see yourself, right? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if you're used to 30 FPS though, it's like it almost felt worse to switch to 60 for me. Like it was just not how I was like used to seeing Spider-Man, you know? I don't know.
yeah,
So yeah, this game runs really good on the PS5. Should we just open up with should we praise the shit out of this game first or rip it apart and then follow it up with some praise?
maybe real quickly we can I guess like go over our experience with or our kind of history with Remedy's other titles.
Sure.
Because I feel like we'll definitely get into it, but like this is a Remedy game. Like this is so I guess Casper, what have you played from
I think
them
my
before?
first experience with them was Alan Wake, which was a game I loved when it came out. It was really cool. It was definitely similar to this, which makes sense because one of the DLCs ties in Alan Wake to this, so they have like their own Marvel Cinematic Universe started.
Remedy Cinematic Universe.
I think that's what the fans refer it to as.
Okay.
But I do feel like it was definitely the start of this game, you know, like they started introducing all the weird paranormal type stuff and some powers, not a lot. It was a lot slower than this game. I mean, this game you're flying around, shooting stuff. Alan Wake, you just kind of...
You're just kind of a dude with a flashlight.
Yeah, it was a time where there was like all shooters and like cover shooters. So it took that. But it was a good game.
Nice.
Yeah.
Kody. Me.
Evan,
Yes,
how about
me.
you?
So I had not played Alan Wake, not played Quantum Break. I've not played Cornflake. But I played Max Payne 2 for like a weekend when I was 8. I rented it from like Hollywood Video or Movie Gallery or whatever, and I played like a weekend of it. So that's like pretty much my only Remedy experience before this. I'm not like a Remedy fan, but I can see, like, I watched a little bit of Alan Wake's gameplay after this, and I can kind of see the common threads, like kind of story wise. He definitely it definitely goes for more of like a meta narrative thing, like where like the characters seem almost like aware that they're in a story. I think that might be like, from my like very, very like baseline understanding, I think that might be like a hallmark. Is it? Do tell. Like,
yeah, pretty much. It's because I think the whole thing about that game is like what he was writing started to become reality or something like that. It didn't really make it super obvious. It was kind of weird. Even the ending of the game didn't really make any sense, but it was cool.
Right.
And then with Control, like the nature of the altered world events and all this, like all the paranatural stuff is the quote unquote collective unconscious conscience. Yes. Anyway, it's like that we will these things into existence. We will these paranatural things because we believe that they are true and that they would exist, which, you know, they're totally setting that up, I think, as like a direct parallel to like Alan Wake's ability to, as a single person, like create reality. Like, I guess like in that world, all that is possible. It's either done by everybody in the entire world together or one guy with superpowers named Alan.
Yeah.
Kody.
What a cool guy,
Just
Alan.
Alan.
That's like one of those names you got to say the last name too.
No.
You know, because Alan.
Hey, it's Alan. Kody, what about you?
Yeah, so I think as like a mostly PlayStation gamer, right? I wasn't able to play Quantum Break. I don't know if I'd want to.
I want to try it now just to compare.
Yeah, that's true. Same thing for Alan Wake, right? It has this kind of like history and lineage on Xbox consoles. Of course, it's available on PC as well, but it just wasn't on PlayStation to play. But Max, it's funny, you know, Max Payne, as you mentioned, I remember that's like, for some reason, that's like the only game that my dad liked, understood, and like played all the time. So he would like take my PS2 and just like play Max Payne 2, and I'm like, what the?
I love that. I like to imagine he's like
games,
really
like,
connected with Max Payne. He's like, my wife and child are dead, and you're like, Dad, I'm right here. Dead to me, I mean.
Like, I remember he would just like, you know, he was in the Air Force, but he would just stay up like all night, just like trying to play Max Payne 2 and like beat the boss and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. That's
crazy.
Like a weird little tidbit. So I would just like watch him play, but I never played it myself. But yeah, so that's kind of like my history with Remedy games, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like throughout Remedy's history, they've kind of been like, they haven't I don't know, had like their huge like blockbuster success. I would say Control is probably the closest thing to it. But even in Control's case, it made its money back and it did really well critically. But it didn't like, you know, put them on the map.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of, I mean, I think Max Payne was crazy successful, or at least at the time.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah. That's fair.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I knew people played Alan Wake and I knew people played Control. Sorry, I'm burping.
Popular.
Talking through a burp is so gross. But I just like it didn't like cross like into the kind of mainstream gamer area, and like I knew it was like kind of like this fringier game, right? Like I knew it was like a game that's a little more niche, and I always meant to try it, but you know,
can it be called a cult classic?
Yeah, I would say so. These are cult. I think these are cult games. I mean, like Kojima games are like cult games, like Sam Lake games are cult games. Yeah, it's all like,
I think a good example, right, is just like, I was trying to find someone who's played Control to get them on this episode, and everybody that asks is like, nah, but it's on my backlog, right? And it's like, just play the damn game because it's really good. It's like, god damn it.
I wonder if it's like advertising that they're not doing good at, or what?
I don't know. Yeah,
I don't know. It's
because they're good games, you know.
Yeah,
but
they're definitely for sure. I don't know. I mean, this is their like most, I guess, you know, feature complete game for sure. And it's, I mean, it cleaned up at the Game Awards in 2019, right? So
yeah, did it win Game of the Year?
Man.
No, it didn't win Game of the Year.
No.
Did it? No, something else beat it out.
No, it must have been. Was that God of War, right? 2018?
Oh, 2019 this game, so it probably was not God of War.
No.
That was,
I'm looking it up. Game Awards 2019. Talk over this noise.
Was it The Witcher?
Fellas. No, no,
The
Witcher was later.
No, that was
earlier,
2015.
Oh, that was even earlier.
Yeah, Witcher was like 2015 or 16.
Oh yeah, I think you're.
okay.
I haven't played that game yet.
So it won for art direction. That's cool. I'm like looking at the Google results.
Oh, it definitely. I mean, we'll get into it, and maybe that's like a good starting point.
Sekiro
art direction, but man,
won.
this game.
Game of the Year over
Sekiro.
Control.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Why don't we just start with, because I think, I mean, this game is so visually striking.
Yeah, we can start with like,
that might be a good starting point.
So, what do you guys think? Brutalist architecture. Did you guys become architects after playing this game?
It was, dude.
It looks so cool,
I mean,
right?
It reminds me a lot of Portal 2.
Yeah, I was gonna
sometimes.
say it reminds me of games like Portal 2 and Mirror's Edge. like
Yeah.
that concrete look, you know, just
Yeah. Half-Life
pure-
2, right? Isn't Half-Life 2 kind of like a pretty oppressive concrete environment? I've only played a
Yeah.
little bit of it.
kind of, but it's more dirty. Like this is
Okay.
more clean,
Right. Right.
but
Yeah,
Half-Life 2 is
right.
kind of like dirty and it's like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
more gruesome, I guess. But everything about this one, it's just clean. And I love that look in games.
Yeah.
Um.
It helps
I'm just trying
with
to
like
think
the
of
whole
like
what's it called? Not factory. Like the business aspect. I feel like it kind of makes it more creepy when there's no
Yeah.
one there. You know?
Oh, totally. It feels abandoned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you're just walking around an empty space. It's a previously occupied space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, especially
It's like they have all left in a hurry,
Yeah.
right? Because you come in as soon as
Yeah.
the outbreak, I guess, started. His outbreak started.
what's even creepier is you think they all left in a hurry, but then you look up
Yeah. Right.
and they're just there
straight
floating.
chilling.
Oh,
Yeah,
chanting.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah.
Did you guys shoot it? Did you guys shoot
Oh,
one
yeah,
like
just
as
the
soon as
floating
you
people.
could? Did you try shooting one? You're going to
I
hell.
did.
You're going
I
to
did
fucking
shoot one.
hell.
I don't know.
I did
I think I
shoot
blew
one.
one up by accident
you
because I
know.
was like throwing stuff and it,
Yeah.
it was in
By
the way.
That's what you tell God, but he doesn't believe you. He knows you did it on purpose.
This game is weird with its art direction sometimes.
Do tell.
Just like it's like it's got that, like you said, the brutalist like concrete look, but then it's like I don't know what's the best word. It's opposite of like gooey, gross.
It's very like clean and
every
sterile.
time.
sterile. Yeah. It's a very
Yeah,
That's a good way to
yeah,
put
yeah.
it.
I guess that's a right. Like I'm trying to think of
put it on the box. Put it
like when
non-gooey environments. Gooless.
when like the pyramid like starts talking to
Oh,
you.
the board.
yeah,
board.
the board.
It's creepy, distorted.
I do really like that from like
right.
the writing perspective of it. Like so I assume the subtitles must come on. I played with subtitles on the whole way through, but the subtitles must come up when it talks to you, right?
Yeah, it does.
automatically.
They're
Yeah.
automatic.
So the slash, it's like always like mixing two phrases or words
telling
together,
you-
and so you
Yeah.
read the sentence twice, and you can like glean that they are semi-interchangeable usually, but sometimes they'll bury like a second or third meaning within that second sentence.
Yeah.
It's pretty
It's
cool.
weird, dude.
It was really cool.
Yeah. Super trippy.
I mean, what'd you guys think like of the like kind of vibes of the environment? Like, I know Kody kind of said sterile or whatever, non-gooey, but like I don't know, like what did I guess like compare and contrast a little bit like with like a horror game, because I think I kind of thought this was like horror adjacent when I first started playing. I thought it was a little bit more. I ended up not
It's like-
feeling very creeped out, but kind of leans
like
into
horror-ish.
creepy.
I think
Yeah, like the X-Files,
It's-
right? Like the X-Files is
Yeah.
horror-ish.
yeah, it's like creepy might be a good word, and it's like something's
Yeah.
up, right? As you're walking through and you're kind of uncovering more about this world and this place. I guess the oldest house is the
building.
the FBC's like
Right.
headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
And as you're kind of exploring, it's like something's going on here. Something's up. I think that's immediately apparent when you, like Casper said, when you come in and there's no one in
The entrance,
the initial
Yeah.
area. Yeah. But then there's the janitor, and we'll get to the janitor later. But that dude's like super weird.
He's just finished, dude.
Yeah. I didn't understand like half the things he was saying. Was he just speaking in Finnish
He
half
was
the time?
speaking what language? Well, I actually don't. Is it Dutch? Does the Finnish
he would
speak
be
Dutch?
speaking Finnish.
They speak
Yeah,
Finnish.
actually.
Or yeah, I guess that's a good question. I don't want to like.
No,
Yeah,
they
it's
speak the
Finnish
Finnish
knowledge.
language. I'm
He-
sorry.
he would
To
say
our
a lot of
Finnish to our
sayings.
Finnish audience members, I'd like to formally
Sorry
apologize.
about that. Finnish.
Um,
He would be saying like all the, even when he was speaking English, he would say like all these crazy phrases that just make like no
Yeah.
sense. It reminded me a lot of like southern phrases as well, like stuff that only they would understand.
like what?
I
Yeah,
can't
come on.
remember the
That's
example
crazy.
right
That's a
now.
crazy thing to say.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, I feel like a possum and a hot Sunday and
This is
Middle
how
of June.
people
It's like,
from Georgia talk, according to Kody.
hey, I lived in Texas for 5 years. I get a pass. But yeah, I think. But so even within this, the FBC as a location, it's got the concrete stuff like we've said, but I think there is different environments within that still kind of blend with
like the sewers,
the overall art style, right? So you'd be exploring in the sewers, or you're in like the quarry. So I think like even those little environment changes, it still kind of flows and blends with the overall art style. In our notes here, we have rocks! Exclamation
when I
mark.
was playing this game,
Rocks.
I didn't realize, but I actually wrote about the rocks twice. That's how much I was impressed with how good. Just in general, rocks look good in video games now. They just really look good.
We've been working on rock technology for years.
Yeah.
Dude, the lighting in this game too.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh my god, the lighting is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the game's just beautiful. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, we can all agree the game is beautiful. I think the most beautiful thing, I love the environments, I think they're cool. But I think the most beautiful thing has got to be the particle effects. The whoosh, the like, when you use launch and you pull the item towards you, it like distorts. Like, it's almost like the way like heat will distort your vision. Like, it's like this kind of reflecty, weird, cosmic vibe. It's really cool.
And all the enemies have like that red distortion too.
Yeah, the hiss infected enemies. But then like when you kill the hiss infected enemies, there's like this like puff of
they
like
explode
when you kill them.
Sick.
That's. I mean, the particle effects are great. I'm trying to think of another example of. It's probably the ones you'll encounter the most. Right, is when you're launching stuff.
Right.
And then,
the only thing I will say about the graphics that is like, I think, we're kind of lumping all things under graphics, like art direction with graphics with, whatever. But this is pretty much strictly like a graphics thing, like, because I think they could have done better with their, I don't know if this is graphics. Anyway, their facial animations, they are super stiff, and it didn't bother me at first, but I don't recommend trying to look at people's teeth while they're talking, because it just doesn't look right. If you like center your eye on their teeth, you can see that their lips don't come up and down over their teeth like kind of correctly at all. Yeah, it looks really weird. So look people in the eyes while you're talking to them.
Overall, just like every muscle here, like I guess for the audio viewers, like pretty much between the eye and your lips, they don't move.
Yeah.
For them, it's really weird.
It's very strange.
I would say overall, along that same line, Evan, I think animations are something that, like, okay, so like when you're playing as Jessie, right, and
it's running, a little weird looking,
and like, her running's a little weird. So definitely the facial animations for
just
sure,
kind of fucked.
And then running around, it looks a little jank sometimes, but I think overall, yeah. But
overall, I would say like looks is a very like graphically impressive game, and it was a delight to look at. And you don't spend that much time actually talking to people. And they did do well in the pre-rendered cutscenes that are in the game where they show people like their faces look way more normal.
Wait, are those?
That's a Remedy hallmark as well.
Pre-rendered cutscenes.
Yeah, it's like the girl who played Courtney Hope, who played Jessie. She has some stuff for like they film her.
Right, I did notice that
the motion capture.
Some of the jump cuts they would do to like, here's some blood or whatever, and like we're not gonna explain it. And here's Jessie screaming for no reason, like
the what's it called? Like the tape recordings, the video
the
ones.
hotlines. No.
Yeah. Oh no, I just mean like the video. Are they actual people?
Oh yeah. That's real people.
Yeah. Okay, I thought so, but at first I'm like, oh wow, that looks really good.
Yeah. No, that would be crazy.
Nice, yeah.
The guy who plays, I have a fun fact for you, Casper. The guy who plays Casper Darling is the voice of Alan Wake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Alan Wake's voice.
That's a good fun fact. That's great.
Okay.
But he is not Alan Wake's facial model. And when you encounter Alan, or when you get some hotlines from Alan Wake in the DLC, and he is, it's Casper Darling's voice still, but they have a real actor who was his original facial model acting. Like he's like working on a typewriter, and it's like, whatever, like the hotline stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting, like because everyone else it's like a 1-to-1 thing. Like
Yeah.
Director Trench's hotlines, like that is the guy who I'm suddenly forgetting his name, but he's the voice of Max Payne. Speaking of,
That's
got some more fun facts. All right, I think we're pretty much we can cross the graphics off the list of things we need to talk about. I guess let's stay like kind of in technical for a minute, and let's jump to just what we thought of the sounds before we get into the gameplay. So the sounds, I mean, the voice acting, killer. Like I think really solid performances all around. Right? Would you guys agree?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was there anybody you guys felt was like particularly dope or lackluster?
Some of the side characters, which don't really matter, but some of them sound off. Mm-hmm. But usually they were just chatting off into the distance, so it didn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the brother.
Because he's a dick,
actor?
or like, yeah. What are you saying?
I just don't like. So I guess I don't like the character, and I also don't like the voice acting.
Well, he sounds like a kid.
He does sound weirdly. I was gonna say the same thing. He sounds way too young for like his face.
I think he's like
they're supposed to be like almost 30.
That's
I think
true.
the characters are supposed to be like 28, 29, and like it doesn't look right. Doesn't seem right at all.
I could be wrong, but I think if you like story wise, he just kind of got stunted at
right.
mental wise.
Totally, yeah. I mean, dude,
So
you
that's
get
probably why.
abducted by a shadowy United States federal government organization and are like subjected to all kinds of wacky stuff. Yeah, you're gonna get all messed up.
Yeah.
Happened to my friend Dave, actually.
Dave, if you're listening to this,
Dave, I'm coming. Dave, don't worry. I'm gonna get you out of there, man.
but yeah, I think it's like Dr. Darling's character. He played really well. Jesse's character is really well done. I guess. Oh, so along the same lines of talking about sound design, right? Dude, when you're pulling something back to launch it, oh, I love that sound.
It's very
that sound
juicy.
Is sick.
Like feels.
It's
you can feel the power in it.
I guess like the best comparison is when in God of War when you're pulling your axe back, just like it just you feel it, right? And then the gun sound design.
Your service weapon.
Your service weapon. Yeah, I think each mode has its like very unique sound, and you can really feel the punch. And actually, Evan, if you were playing on PS5, right? Got that?
Yeah, DualSense feels pretty good in that game. I like when Jesse's running around. I had noticed this at first, and then it kind of just like blended into the background. But like, you can feel her individual footfalls on either side of the controller. So it's like left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Something I really noticed when I just started playing the game, and then I kind of never noticed again. But that's probably a sign that it's like good haptic feedback. Like just feels right. It blends. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the sound. The only thing I don't like about the sound of launch is the hum. There's a couple missions where you have to like hold on to something in the DLC, and it's like so droning, and you sometimes have to hold something for like 5 minutes, and it's just like it's basically like a microwave hum. I would bet you $100 that is the Foley that they used, which Foley, for those who don't know, is like raw audio you use when you make like sound effects, and I guarantee that it's just some fucking Toshiba like microwave or something, dude. And so that sound would get pretty annoying, but otherwise I think launch had like an amazing kind of sound to it. And the sound, dude, speaking of like just really good sounds, I know Casper wants to say something. One sec. The like calling back to when we were talking about how the hiss explode, the sound that explosion makes sounds like it's a hiss. It sounds like when you poke a hole in like a balloon. It's like psst.
That might be the Foley.
Yeah, right. But it feels really good. Like you feel like you popped it. I don't know. It's awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you're holding stuff too, sometimes you actually hear like whispering or chanting.
Yeah, right. That too.
Yeah, there's a lot of whispering.
This game does have a lot of whispering.
I was actually using in this week's or this episode's like playthrough. I was using this it's like the PS5 headset. It's like 3D audio or some shit. And this is like the first game that I really like noted. Like, you know, playing Spider-Man, it sounds good,
Yeah.
but this is like the first game that I was like,
I think
Oh,
You
this
feel like you're in
that
it.
sounds
Yeah.
good.
I think this game sounds a lot better with
Yeah.
headphones.
I
I
didn't play with headphones
too.
at all, but now I'm gonna go boot it up and try again just to see how it sounds.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I just wanted to say, I know sometimes the sound, what do you call it, the Foley wasn't
Yeah.
right. Like I remember
Yeah.
walking through a bunch of stools, and you would think they would make like a metal clink, but they were making like soda bottle clinks, like glass
yeah.
bottles,
yeah,
and it just
not the
didn't
right
sound
clink.
right. Yeah,
The sound file labeled clink A, they need to choose clink B. Come on, boys, come on.
minor
Yeah.
complaint, but it was a little
that's-
weird sometimes.
You know what? That might be well, sorry to cut you off, Casper, but I think I've noticed stuff like that throughout the game. It's like when you're running through like an office, for
Yeah.
example, it's like everything is like made out of paper or something. Like I feel like the physics of the everyday objects isn't. I don't know if
I
you
feel like
guys
they
Yeah,
did
I
that.
agree with
relate
you.
or
I feel like they did that so that when you grabbed stuff, you wouldn't get stuck on it. Like they just
Yeah.
kind of made it like
yeah,
paper.
that's yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
Right.
it is. Yeah, it's weird, like how much Jessie just fucking can like barrel through her environment, though.
It's just like the whole
So like, or sorry, yeah.
The like a fire extinguisher will be hidden, or even like a cabinet, and if you just slightly brush up against the cabinet, the whole thing just goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that's a good segue into like the gameplay. Because I love dashing as a mechanic in any old game, but dashing in this
So
game when you
good in
dash
this, yeah.
through stuff, just like everything like falls apart and like is very visually and audio like satisfying. It's a good dash. I think this game is a good dash.
Yep.
Not every game that has a dash has a good dash. You know, it's
That's true.
This is a
Yeah,
sick
for sure.
dash.
I love that most of the glass in the game is breakable, like almost all of it, unless it has like that
Yeah.
metal grid. Because
Right.
I remember a lot of games, you know, some glass is breakable, a lot isn't.
Yeah.
And in this game, I saw an enemy through a glass pane. I'm like, oh, he can't see me. I'm like, I just shot through the glass to see if it would work, and bam, he just blows up. The glass
Yeah.
shatters. You know, you dash through the glass. Like,
Yeah, that's
the
rad.
glass.
I think it's interesting that they kind of like left a lot of like non-breakable or breakable glass in places where I thought they would put, like a typical game designer would have put non-breakable glass, you know? Like there's a couple times in the game where you have to like use your security card to get through a door. It's like a level whatever, but you can just fucking break through
right
the
through.
glass and then just
Yeah.
skip it. Like you don't need to wait. It's
That
kind of
happened a few
rad.
times.
Like I appreciate them like making
Yeah, that's
me
pretty
like
cool.
think about wanting to bust through glass.
Yeah.
Sick. All right, guys, I talked about the dash. I want to hear what your favorite abilities of Jesse's are.
Launch. I
Launch is
maxed
so
it right
sick.
away. Like that was the
Yeah.
only thing I leveled up the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so I think launch is really great because it kind of, you know, it's just the first power you get, right? And it's the gameplay loop where you know you're in a room full of hiss enemies and you're shooting them, but you have to reload. While you're reloading, you're
Yeah.
launching. When that's depleted, now I'm shooting again. You know what I mean? So I think initially, maybe for like the first half of the game, before you get I guess like before you get fly, because once you get fly, it kind of changes everything. But the first half of the game, you know, you're running around, you're shooting and launching. I think that's kind of really satisfying. That kind of those fights
I think I think
those
launch is too overpowered though.
Yes.
As
I
cool
agree.
as
That's
it-
what I was going to say.
Yeah, as cool as it
Yeah.
was, I pretty much one shot everything with launch.
Yeah, dude, it gets really good.
I mean, especially in your case.
Yeah, because I upgraded it, but
maxed it out
still,
like initially.
it was way too strong.
It's really strong. And like if you like use your personal mods for like launch, like to reduce the cost
Yeah,
and to give yourself
cost.
more energy,
Yeah,
you can
right.
just pelt most things to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Near
sorry.
the end of the game, you know, you got levitate. Since I maxed it, you get the launch ability where you can hold up to 3 items.
Yeah.
So I'm just holding up 3 items in the air, throwing them at all the different enemies. It's
Magneto
really
looking
cool.
ass.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope as hell. But it's
Yeah.
like it's not metal. It's like
Yeah.
concrete. It's just like,
Oh, that.
Yeah, that's it definitely does make the game easier.
Oh, definitely. It's just like way too strong.
Especially when for some of the bigger enemies, if you launch something at them, they'll like stumble.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like a couple
Stun
of
lock
guys with
'em.
like huge miniguns, like they're supposed to be just like
Even
destroying
if you
me,
just
but
shoot at them,
I'm
they
just like
stumble.
throwing shit.
With
At them.
just the regular pistol, they'll stumble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true too. So it's definitely, I think so. In our notes here, we have a power trip, right? So it's like super easy, but you almost like don't really. For me, anyways, I don't really care that much because it's like so fun to play.
Yeah, the game is like I think the game is I would describe it as like super easy.
Yeah.
You know, but like for some people I'm sure it is plenty hard, but I think for like the seasoned gamer, it is it's not a challenge at all. It's like even the DLC where stuff starts to get hard, it's still like only like kind of hard. I think I died like 8 times in the whole game, and I blame bullshit reasons for all of them. Like one of the explodey hisses like just like spawned behind me and I wasn't paying attention. It blew me up.
Oh, the invisible one. I hate that one.
The invisible one, yeah. But if you're quick enough, you just launch at it 6 times and then it's dead. Like its launch is so broken.
If you're quick enough with the shield, you can't take damage.
I never once used the shield. That's my big reveal. I
kind of forgot
The
that
shield
expected-
was really lackluster.
Yeah, it feels like if with all the movement options you have, like it's pretty easy to just kind of dodge around instead of using the shield. Because dodge is like quicker and you can action out of it quicker. Like it just feels more like what that game is going for. The shield feels just like Jessie's not a tank. She doesn't give off a tank vibe. It doesn't like the gameplay doesn't feel right trying to act like a tank. Yeah, the only time I used the shield was when I was getting the platinum, which I got the platinum for this game. You have to kill 10 or 15 or something enemies with the shield burst, which is one of like the mid-tier shield upgrades where when you release the shield, it shoots out like rubble at enemies. Does basically no damage. So like I was just sitting there like shield release, shield release, shield release. Like it's just so bad. It took me so long.
Does the game have difficulty options?
No,
I don't remember it.
I don't think it does. It does have an assist mode, which like you can
Yeah. I was looking in the options and it has like a ton of accessibility stuff.
Yeah, lots of stuff like that, but no like real like kind of quote unquote standard like difficulty options, but like you certainly can't make it any harder. You can make it easier in a multitude of ways, but you can't make it any harder. Which sucks. I mean, overall, like I now that I've beaten it, I'm like really bummed there's not like New Game Plus where like everything's way harder or something. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Is there not New Game Plus?
I don't think there is.
No.
Please correct us, listeners, if there's New Game Plus in Control, but I'm pretty sure there isn't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I could have sworn after I beat it the first time, there was an option to play it again but keep all your powers. Can't remember.
I don't know if it makes anything stronger though.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know.
There is no New Game Plus. Just looked it up.
All
you
right.
idiot, Kody.
That's kind of weird when a game like nowadays doesn't.
Yeah, right?
Almost,
like
you know what I mean?
it seemed like it should.
I like that there was no ammo packs. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. The service
Yeah.
So the service weapon pales in comparison to launch in terms of like effectiveness, but it's a pretty cool gun, and
I think it's got a variety of different modes, and you can swap between them pretty fast. So I think if you're not feeling one mode, they are your classic like, this one's like a machine gun, this one's like a shotgun, this one's like a sniper.
Yeah.
They kind of fall in line with like general game, I guess, design. Like
what did you guys run mostly for the game? For the 2 service weapon slots?
My combo, well, I had the pistol and the what's the grenade launcher called?
Charge.
Oh. Yeah, so pretty much I was just launching and charging. Yeah. I just went full explosion.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool that it kind of lets you like kind of focus in and I want to be explodey guy over here.
Expendables 2 Casper over here.
I kind of in my first playthrough I was going for like a more long range. I think it's called Pierce,
the
right?
sniper.
It looks cool.
Yeah, so I was doing kind of a more long range with launch, like, you know, I'm in the air like sniping people. But in the second playthrough, I was actually going for like an up close and personal, like shotgun. I was actually trying to melee because in my first playthrough I didn't melee at all.
I don't.
Yeah, so I'm
only if I was
to
fully out of ammo and I was
there.
like about to get hit with something would I melee. Like
Yeah,
I
if they
never
were
ran
right
up to
next to
melee.
me. Yeah.
It's just not that safe, right? Like you're like you don't.
No, if you get hit, like you take
their melee
those
damage.
are the times that
like,
I've
deals
died.
a
Is when I'm
ton.
trying to.
Yeah.
I guess if you went shield and melee would probably be good, but launch is just too good.
Launch is too good.
Launch is good and it's fun and it feels great. So it's
the like optimal strategy. So people just do it. Like you like Kody. You're saying you basically had to force yourself to play it a different way. Like I don't know if that's a good thing. You know, like it's not like you made a. It's not like you the two a road diverges in an open wood or whatever the fuck that line is. It's like
one is like super fun and
fine,
one's like,
right? Yeah. It's
If you could
one road is
shield-
covered in spikes, and you're like, "Oh, take the spiky road this time."
If you could shield and shoot, I think it would be better.
That would be sick, and I was like surprised that was not the final upgrade for shield. Like, that would have made a lot of sense. I think. For me, I mostly ran. Once I got Pierce, I ran Pierce exclusively, and then pistol if like an enemy, like, because Pierce is only 2 shots. So if like an enemy, like if I thought I could kill him in like less ammo overall, I'd use the pistol, but mainly Pierce. Pierce is really good. I mean, the headshot damage with Pierce is like absurd.
Pierce is really good for the telekinesis floating enemies.
Yes. It's like the only thing you can do because those guys dodge launch, which I wish more enemies were somehow like able to
launch.
Yeah.
I was so focused. Sorry, I was so focused on launch. I learned that if you launch something and then quickly launch another thing at the levitating ones,
right? It's like why even make them dodge the first one if I'm just like if you're gonna let me get them on the next one, you know. But whatever.
I think overall, it's always cool when a game, like the service weapon has like a personality of its own.
Sure.
That you kind of make your own. It makes me think of God of War again, right? Where you're, making the axe like this is my axe. You know what I mean? My axe is different than Evan's axe, right? As opposed to like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think like in Wolfenstein, let's say, like you're just running through and like this is an assault rifle. It's whatever.
Yeah, I mean the customizations are like a cool, I think, like idea. So the game has a mod system. You have personal mods and weapon mods. Personal mods are your standard like more health, more juice for your attacks, and then weapon mods are like specific to the weapon for the most part. So I think it's a cool idea, like conceptually, but I don't think specifically. I think about the weapon mods that they just don't do enough cool shit. I ran on Pierce. I ran zoom boost, damage increased when zooming, plus, and then just a flat damage bonus. Yeah. And it fucking eviscerated everything for the most part until I got to like the DLC, and then that's when stuff like starts to get a bit harder. But in the DLC, you start to unlock these weapon mods that have like trade-offs, which is really neat. Like I remember there's one like when you take damage from a hiss charged, which are the guys that explode, like regain all your ammo. And I was like, that's tight. Like that's pretty cool.
Right.
Like, but I would never choose that over these like amazing stat boosts you're just giving me like raw. It's like, it's. I've already got the hamburger in my mouth and they're like, but don't you want to try the small plate of fancy French dinner? And I'm like, I'm eating a fucking hamburger. Like, I'm just doing it. Like, I don't need like the extra accoutrement. But if I had been fed the French dinner up front and there was no hamburger, I'd be like into the nuance of it. I'd be like, it's just so silly to me that they waited until the DLC to add these cool mods. Like the mods should have been what they are in the DLC up front.
Yeah, they should have been well, I guess
I just thought the mods weren't that fun.
Yeah, they're not that fun.
Annoying.
Yeah, and they're not that interesting, and I think it's mostly because there's your player, Jesse's mods, I forgot what they're called
personal
in the game,
mods.
but personal mods, right? And then there's
Right.
weapon mods, and they're not gonna cross, right? And maybe they should have, but like in my mind, if you were going for like a glass cannon type game mechanic, right, where it's like, okay, you can increase your damage, but now you're gonna have less health.
Yeah, there's nothing like that till the DLC.
But because they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and how many different things, I guess, could you change like about the gun? Like, okay, maybe it's higher damage, but you have less ammo.
Yeah, I mean,
guess.
something like that. I mean, there were actually very few mods that affected the ammo. I was surprised. I thought, like, I was really surprised that I could at no point in the game apply a mod to just give myself more ammo.
There was a few.
Right.
I didn't. Well, I somehow
like
missed
ammo,
all of them.
They are randomly generated.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess,
pretty
right?
sure
So
it was like, I think those ammo efficiency ones.
there's like quicker regen and
okay.
stuff like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Or like take less percentage.
Yeah. Well,
or-
I figured because take less percentage just pretty much increases the ammo.
Your overall, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
I wish you could put the guns to the D-pad, like instead of because you can
instead of
instantly
square.
switch to them.
Oh, instead of square.
Yeah, so why not just put that on the D-pad? Because
What the hell was the D-pad
map.
for? I guess up is
Yeah,
and
the
left
that's
map.
and that's it. The
it?
rest of them buttons don't do anything.
yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah.
What was melee? Wasn't melee like
Yes, it
triangle?
was.
Yeah.
So it's some weird. They're kind of like going against the grain as far as like, here's how every other game does stuff.
Yeah. Did you guys get any mods that were like one-off rare ones? So like, did you have any mods that were gold? Like they had a gold
no.
sheen on them?
I must have in my first playthrough. but I
Yeah.
can't
Well,
remember that one.
they aren't
To
random
your
ones. You
earlier
have to like
point,
do like puzzles to get them
Oh.
specifically. Like I have
Okay.
one called. I
Trying
have
to
one
think.
on Jesse that is so broken. It's called aerobics, and every time you dash, you get 17, I think, health back every time you dash. So if I took damage, just dash like a madman, no
That's
problem.
really good.
It's really, really good. And then if you pair it with like, decreased dash costs, you can dash like a bajillion times.
Yeah.
It's really broken.
Yeah.
But it plays into that whole power trip. And I had to do like kind of a weird late game puzzle to get it. I can't remember which puzzle I had done to get it. I know I was in the motel when I got it, but I don't remember how I got there. So yeah, I mean, speaking of environmental puzzles, this game has some cool environmental puzzles.
I'm
Did
trying
you guys
to remember
do any? You can totally skip pretty much all of them except for the ones like there's the one where you have to use the punch cards with like the cube
Right.
symbols on them, and you have to like look at the whiteboards and see like what the scientists wrote down about the pattern, and then like put them in their appropriate slots.
The punch card ones, I was having such a hard time because I knew what order I had to do the punch cards in, but I didn't know what order to put the machines in. Like I didn't realize that the machines were numbered. Like 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see them, because every time I would look, it was only a numbers on one side. So every
Also,
time
the
I
numbers
looked
had
at the machines,
LOD, dude. I would like you. I couldn't
really?
see it. Yeah, I couldn't see it from far away. I
didn't even
did
know
the
that.
same thing. I was like, how the hell am I gonna pick it? I was tracing the chords from the door or whatever it opens. Like I was tracing that to the terminals at first.
Yeah. I was having such a hard time with that. And then I see the number eventually. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
all right. That's so much easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember any other puzzles.
So,
Really?
You guys didn't get the golden suit. You didn't do the luck puzzle. So, it's just to refresh your memory. There's a part where you meet up with Marshall in the luck and probability sector of, or office of the research sector.
Okay.
And then when you get a higher level clearance card, you can open a room that's adjacent, and there's a roulette table, and you need to modify your luck using the things in the room to get, good enough luck to win this roll.
Okay.
So like you have to like walk up to one of those cat statues and like make it start waving. You have to flip the like horseshoe upside down. And there's some environmental hints
so that
onto
makes
like
sense, 'cause-
what you need to do, and then there's like some that you're like not sure. So you have to kind of do a bit of checking and guessing. But
Okay, because I remember in my first playthrough, I'm not there on my second playthrough yet, but I was like in that room.
just like, what do you do?
I guess I didn't. Yeah, I was like mashing and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll just move on.
You get the golden suit, which is pretty tight. You get to wear a golden suit for the rest of the game, which I pretty much wore exclusively after that.
Yeah, I wish there was more outfits, dude. What the hell?
There's a lot. You just have to unlock them because I looked it up later. There was like 15 outfits or something like that.
A couple of them were like pre-order bonuses though, which surprisingly the Control Ultimate Edition doesn't come with the pre-order bonuses from the previous games, which seems weird. Like
right?
most like Ultimate or Game of the Year or Turbo editions of games, come with everything. Like I was reading that there's a on the PS4 there was a Hideo Kojima mission where he narrates it's in the sensory deprivation tanks in the research sector. There's nothing in that room. There's nothing in that room. But in the DLC or whatever, this free episode that came with the PS4 version, you could find a guided meditation by Hideo Kojima where you would like climb into a tank and it would like show you stuff. And I wanted to play it so bad when I heard about it, and it's just not there in the Ultimate Edition. That's some bullshit. Yeah, I mean, do we have any other things we want to talk about for gameplay before we start talking? I think the story is a good thing because we have a lot to talk about with the story. So, anybody have any last like truly mechanical notes about the gameplay?
One small thing, if you die, but you're like got a bunch of collectibles before you went to the next save point, you won't lose those collectibles. Like that just saves. Like all you lose when you die is just wherever you were in the room.
You lose 10% of your source, which is that triangle currency.
You do lose like the
right,
which is kind of a big. That's a lot, Like when you start to like bank a ton of it because you have nothing to spend it on, you're losing like 20K when you die. Like that sucks.
That's true. Yeah, but for the most part, you don't really lose much. I'm mostly glad you don't lose collectibles. Because I hate in games when you collect a bunch of stuff and then you gotta do it all over again.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah. I think now's maybe a good time to, because I think with the Remedy game, right? It's the story is it, right? So I think first off, right, it's got a really good cast of characters. We kind of touched on it with
the specific voice acting
and stuff. But I guess Jesse as a character is a really cool protagonist. I don't know kind of what the future for Remedy, like I assume Control 2 must be,
I think probably Alan Wake 2 before Control 2. I think Alan Wake 2 will be a sequel to both Alan Wake and Control.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I played the DLC, trust me, I'm pretty sure.
An
without spoiling anything. Okay. So I know we usually spoil everything for our listeners, but if one of the people on the show hasn't played it, they have special privilege. They don't get to be spoiled. So, yes, but I will say, like, I feel pretty confident that it'll be elements of Control and elements of Alan Wake in the next Alan Wake game.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, this world that they've kind of started, right? There's a lot to it. I can see them going like all sorts of different ways.
Definitely.
I think another standout character is, like we were saying earlier, the janitor. Dude's nuts. He's like the craziest character in like any video game ever.
He's interesting. He's got like a very like David Lynch vibe, which this whole story and this whole environment and everything about it is like very David Lynchy.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
He's just this like mysterious being that like you're not sure. At least at first I was like, is he in Jesse's head? Like, did she make him up? Because he just like teleported, I think. Like when you're first meeting him, he's like teleporting around. Like at one point he's behind you and he's ahead of you.
Yeah, I think it's kind of assume that there's something, and you were talking about earlier, but or was that before we started recording? But
sorry, we can't talk before the recording.
Yeah, that's true. Something's up with this dude, and it's kind of like assumed there's some like pieces that you can, some pieces of reading that you can.
Oh, we didn't talk
up,
about
right?
any of the pickups for gameplay. I guess that kind of falls under story. Anyway, suffice to say, this game has so many fucking pickups, and you can read for hours. You can read for hours while you play this game.
And you, in my case, like I really did. Like I would just sit there and just like every time I pick something up, I'd be like,
study it. I would save it for the end of my play session. I'd be like, I'd get everything, and then I'd like have a cup of tea and just like read all my documents that I unlocked.
oh, that's pretty smart.
It was nice.
Too, yeah. But there's some stuff where it talks about Adi the janitor, and like he's higher up than just. It seems like he's higher up than just
he's
janitor.
no normal janitor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's like, listen to whatever he says. Like don't like he's the man. Like all this sort of stuff. Like don't mess with his routine. That sort of thing.
Even the director didn't mess with him, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he just was able to do like whatever he wanted, which is super interesting.
I'd love to get you guys' thoughts on like the specific like story beats. I'll summarize the story as best I can really quick to refresh all of our memories. So Jesse shows up. Jesse unwittingly becomes the director. Jesse has to go where to the they're like she's the director, and she's like, I need to find my brother, that's why she's there. And then they're like, okay, first you gotta start the power in the place, we need you to do that. It's a lot of people being like, I'll help you, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, like come get over here with the back scratcher. Like it's a lot of Jesse like really being pretty selfless, considering she's on this like what appeared to be like a murder conquest at first. Like she was like, I'm gonna smoke all these people and find my brother. These are the enemies of my life. Like these are evil people that stole my brother. And she pretty much bends over backwards for all their requests one after another. You have to turn on the power before you can see your brother. You have to go find Marshall before you can turn on the power. Mm-hmm. Marshall tells you have to do what? Something else before take care of the stuff in the panopticon, I thought, or something.
There's janitor stuff you have to do, like clean out like pipes.
Well, that's not that's side stuff, but I'm like trying to you don't have to do any of that other stuff. Maybe just one early on, but it's mostly side content for Ati. Anyway, suffice to say, you just have to like do a lot of shit for other people, and then eventually you get to see your brother. And then Dylan is what? He's been corrupted by the hiss. He's gone cray-cray. He's hanging out being cray-cray. Then what do? What's like the last thing you do before the final fight? Like I can't remember the third act very well.
You have to go to like or was the research guy, his office,
Casper.
and like finds
You have
to find something.
You run around some of the areas you've already been, I guess, just doing shit. And then like the game eventually wraps. And then bam, it's the end. No, totally. Right, because you're trying to find the fucking slide projector. And you go to like one place, which is way on the middle of nowhere, and then you gotta go to another place. And it's still not there.
Because they originally the slide projector was supposed to be
in containment.
In containment, and like that recreation of Ordinary.
Yes.
Of the town.
Yeah. And then it was moved to research, and then it's not in research, and it turns out it's been taken to this
where was
this
it?
room. This room. It was called the Nostalgia Department. It is actually it's one of the first places in the game that you can't go. You like walk by this like red door, and you're like, when will I ever open that? Do I have to kill all the enemies in the room? Kill all the enemies in the room. Door's still closed. You're like, okay, I guess I'm not going in that room. And then right at the end of the game, you go in that room.
Right.
I think to your point, like when you really put it that way, the main story, like Jesse's story, and the events that happen to Jesse in this world. Not the best. No,
I gotta say, like the
by far
moment to moment story beats like kind of stink.
And it's your goal is to, I guess, like your brother is like your first goal, right? You're like, I'm trying to get my brother, I don't know her brother. I don't really care.
Listen, I don't know your brother, dude.
I don't know your brother.
I'm sorry.
The most interesting part of this game, the environmental storytelling, and just like the world building that they create. It's like,
I think the side quests were better than the main story. So
definitely. Every side quest I had way more fun than the real story.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like the one with the fridge guy. Just to shout out one that was awesome. That was sick.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, I've been staring
Dude,
at the
that's-
fridge for 3 days. My eyes, they burn.
So it's
and you're like, sorry, Paul.
No
or his name's
one-
like Doug. I think his name's Doug. And you gotta go help Doug.
They're supposed to do
That one.
shifts. They're supposed to do shifts, and no one's coming to back him up because, like, I mean, the guy who is supposed to back him up is probably turned into
gone.
his,
He's
right?
dead.
That one had an actual
Oh
boss.
my god.
Like the
Yes,
main
one of
game
the
didn't
few
really have
real
a
bosses
boss.
of the game. Yeah.
What's cool is
Right.
that boss, you can see in some of those blurry slide projectors of when they actually go to
Oh, no way.
the ethereal, what are they called? The
Astral plane.
Astral plane. You
Yeah.
can see it. It's like really blurry, but it's the same thing because it's like a big eye and it has like tentacles coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I thought that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
The side missions are really great, and you'll pick up some, like, you pick up things that just tell you more about the world, right? A lot of them are super. I wrote down two, just from my second playthrough that I've written down. So, like, you pick up this one, and it's this guy who is trying to build God. Like, he had a dream.
Oh,
that
the
told
dead
him-
letters. The
That
dead
was
letters are
creepy.
sick
Yeah,
collectibles.
exactly.
Yeah.
They are just
Yeah,
like
so
weird, non sequitur,
Yeah, they're,
like,
like,
just
totally
unhinged people writing letters. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the FBC.
No, they're
and I
not all
guess-
to the
I guess
FBC, dude.
idea
They're
is,
just like a bunch of
just
them are just
letters.
like
They're
text.
being, like-
They aren't even to anybody. Like,
Right. So this one specifically, it's like this guy who's trying to build God, and he's building him out of, like, his
Yeah.
toaster, and, like,
that one's
he's
awesome.
like, if you try calling me, like, I'm not gonna be able to pick up because I use the parts of the
To
phone
build God. My
Oh,
favorite
yeah,
one of those
creepy.
is the foot gossip one, mainly because I saw it and it popped up on the bottom of my screen, foot gossip. And I was like, I gotta know what the foot gossip is. And the guy's like, to whom it may concern, my feet speak to me. At night, they gossip. If you would like to know more, please write me back. And it's like, okay.
I like the one with the guy who talked to dead presidents, and he's like,
I don't know if I got that one.
that's the other one that I have written
or
down.
if you want to, if you would like my help to run the government, I think I would
wait,
be
yeah.
a good assistant.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
he it's like all the past dead presidents, like, he can see them and talk to
Yeah.
them, and he's like, yeah, so, like, I have all this, like, I have this wealth of knowledge, like, I think you guys could really use me. But so, like, there's stuff about, like, the dead letters, like we just mentioned, or there's stuff that correspondence between people who work at the FBC that are just,
Yeah,
like,
there's
leaving
tons
notes or
of just
whatever,
really cool,
talking to coworkers.
yeah, environmental stuff.
Yeah, it'll be like, like, all these crazy, like, otherworldly events are happening,
And it's just people like being
in
like,
this world.
this sucks.
It's like boring. Yeah,
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah, it's like people just complain about earlier stuff, or it's like, oh, they have, like, a book club,
Yeah.
and they're just talking about, like, books that they've read, and it's like, there's just all this crazy shit
Yeah.
happening, and you're just, like, talking about
I think
books.
most of the people that work there are just crazy. You know?
Well, I think the game like very deliberately like attempts to like do some kind of like situational irony or like it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept that anyone would subject themselves to working under these conditions, and these people like have the most mundane problems with it, and that alone is like that's the joke. Is
Yeah.
it just it's so dumb. Like I really like the one you open a room. This is a good one where, because not all, I don't think it's that common that the location of the item ties super closely into the content of like the item. But there's one where you open a door and it's a room that's all sticky notes. There are sticky notes everywhere, and you pick up the thing and it's like, the sticky notes are duplicating. I can't get any work done. Like I'm taking PTO. I'll be back on Monday. It's like so good, dude.
Yeah, that's badass. I mean that's kind of a good segue. Oh, sorry, Casper.
Oh, this is actually a different topic, but I was going to ask, what time is this game supposed to take place? Like modern?
I think it's modern day, right?
I think
Even
it's
though
literally
yeah,
2019.
even though
I think they
it's,
say that in the game. Like,
Oh, do they? Okay.
well, dude,
or if you
it's-
do the math,
so
of
I
like
was
how
just-
old she is.
They kind of explain it.
To,
I think all the stuff that they use, like all the technology is old, right? Because the oldest house doesn't let new
it's
technology
also
in.
yeah, they do say that, but I think that was a story decision that was caused by an aesthetic decision. I think
Right.
people kind of get
Yeah.
like the more spy kind of like, like
Yeah,
the
it's
X-Filesy vibe
analog.
for
It's
more of like
definitely-
analog stuff. Exactly. Like
definitely
you want to
like
see those
a-
big panel, like gigantic TVs and that are just
Yeah.
like a tube screen. Like you want to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's for, you know, it is for story, you know, aesthetic
Then
first,
they-
then
they
they
made
tie
a
that
story
into
reason,
the
yeah.
story.
Right.
But also I think Casper too, it's like kind of the vibe of this, like it's like bureaucratic and like, oh, there's all this like red
Right.
tape, you know, and there's different clearance levels
Right.
and it's definitely like I guess it's I don't know if it's actually like stated, but it's like a part of the
Yeah. No, it's
government.
stated.
right.
They're the Federal Bureau.
Yeah, it
they're
definitely
part
is,
of the
right?
U.S. government.
Yeah. So it's kind of just like, oh, you have like the FBI,
Right.
CIA, FBC.
That's also a good
whatever.
point, Cody. I didn't think of it like that. Like it's the part of the reason I think that it is like that with the lower technology is like it gives you an office vibe. When you said the word vibe, this clicked with me. It's
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
oh yeah, like I mean, I work in tech, so a lot of our offices are like normal. But I've been to like an office that's not tech, and like it's just like old
office right
ass
now.
computers, old ass printers, like nothing's new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, so I think all of those kind of play
yeah.
into the
yeah.
vibe for sure.
So yeah, I mean, the world building is definitely like what is the coolest part of this game. We've touched kind of on the collectibles and the paranatural elements of this world, the way that things change in such drastic and scary ways for these people. The last thing I want to make sure we touch on with world building, that I would be remiss to not mention would be the Threshold kids, dude.
It creeped me out.
So
It
The
creeped me out
Threshold
so
kids
much.
are
creeped me
awesome.
out.
I was so psyched. It's terrifying. Did you guys get the piece of correspondence about the Threshold kids?
Oh, about the dude who like wants
It was
to,
like Karen
what
in
was it,
accounting, like took a puppet
Yeah.
making class at the community college.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they're just like,
Yep.
we'll do our
Yep.
best. And they made the joke being they made the creepiest thing in the universe. Mr. Bones, like is the kid's teacher, and he's a skeleton in a pink suit with a doll's face mask, like covering 1/3 of his face. It's
Yeah.
terrifying. And he screams
it's
at them, and it's so
the
scary.
information that they're conveying is like very boring. You know what I mean? It's
Or
like
it's very relevant to
the
like
ones
their
that-
life, right? Like inside the FBC.
right. It's
Well, like,
it's like the ones that immediately come to mind are just like, oh, like rules of the workplace or
right.
whatever. Like, oh, if you see an altered world item and it starts like changing
Don't
stuff,
touch
like,
it.
leave
Yeah.
right away. Yeah, don't touch it.
Or like there's one
That
like
kinda stuff.
if you experience like if you're like trapped when the house shifts, and they're
Yeah.
like they say to like I think what's the kid's name's like Topher, or he's like a or like Cooper or something, but they're like
Topher, yeah.
like Topher, I heard you were stuck in a room for 5 days, and Topher just kind of goes like like he just whimpers at the thought of being stuck alone in a room for 5 days again. It's pretty fucked up. In the DLC,
Yeah.
there is a secret location that has the lost episode, which doesn't have anything in it. It's basically just a sequence of images that are very creepy. It's like they just tried to crank the creepiness factor up to 11, but that was like kind of a cool thing to find in the DLC.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great like stop point for the
Threshold kids.
Yeah, Threshold kids. When you're talking about the story, it's like if I'm trying to think of something that's like the creepiest and
Thing
weirdest
about this game, yeah,
that this game has to
it's
offer.
the Threshold Kids.
Threshold
yeah.
Kids.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've covered pretty much everything. Let's take a quick break before Casper's variety show of anguish.
Oh wait,
Oh no, stamps
Oh,
first.
stamps, right.
Stamps first.
I think
Shit,
we stamps first.
This
Right?
is the
wait.
11th episode.
I just want to bring up something we didn't talk about. That was
Yeah.
my favorite. One of my
Oh
favorite
yeah,
parts.
go for it.
The
Yeah, go for it.
oh, what's it called now? This ashtray.
Oh, the ashtray maze.
Yeah, the ashtray.
Oh,
Yeah,
ashtray
so that
maze,
like
yep.
exists probably like
100%.
somewhere between the story and the gameplay, like sections of our show.
Yeah.
But that is a fucking awesome sequence.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's
So
pretty
if-
chill.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Pretty much just like a quick summary of it is that it's just a maze to hide the most important thing, which is whatever
The
the
slide
end game.
projector. Yeah.
Yeah, the slide projector. That's what it's called. And it keeps everyone out, and it's cool because when you're going through it, the mist is trying to break through, and you can see that because like a big room will open up and it'll show the mist, and you go to point at it, and then like the room closes around them,
Right.
and it opens up a new section for you to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it's
pretty
working
cool.
on your side,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
that sequence is probably the best. Like, if this game is a game about feeling like a super powered badass director, like
Yeah.
that part is the most that this game can deliver you. Like, you are this whole part is to a song called Take Control, and you're like, oh, they said it.
Yeah.
And it's just like a I don't, it's not heavy metal, but it's like metal. It's definitely like a metal song.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like too heavy. It's not like it's palatable to like people who probably don't like metal music, and it just shreds, and you just are popping hiss guys left and right, and it's really like powerful sequence. It's a cool sequence.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments in gaming for in a while, I think,
Yeah.
is the Ashtray Maze.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
All right,
I think
so,
overall this has been one of like the best games I played lately. Like just single player story wise.
I was telling Liz, my fiance, that this has definitely crossed over into like, I would say, like, I don't know where it would fall, but definitely within my top 15, I would confidently say. I don't know where my top 15 of games of all time, but definitely in the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it sticks with you after you beat it the first time. It's like it's such a cool world,
you don't want to
right?
leave it. You don't want to be done with it. Yeah, I agree. When I 100%ed it, I was like, well, there's still, I guess there's probably still more stuff to do. Getting the plat is not actually like, does not require like finding every bit of like collectible in the game. You think you only need like 80% of the collectibles, so it's like pretty doable.
All right.
But like, it's just, it sucks to walk away from. Ready for Alan Wake 2. Let's go.
All right, stamp time.
Yeah, stamp time.
Stamp time.
Kody, take it away with your stamp, my friend.
Oh, I'm first.
I already.
I don't want to go first. I don't have one ready.
Oh.
Just do it.
No.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, you got something, Kody, or
Think any of us have anything ready?
Ati the janitor is a wacko.
Casper.
Rocks.
Rocks. Nice.
Oh yes. Yep.
Boss Baby. DreamWorks Boss Baby.
Nice.
Specifically.
Nice.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, and then it's time for Casper's variety show of anguish. So we will be right back. And we are back. We are running a little long on the show. We could probably talk about Control for our entire lives. So it's going to be a short Casper's variety show of anguish. But nonetheless, we're doing it anyway. Casper, take it away. What's the prompt today?
All right. So my question for this bi-weekly show is, what is one of your favorite game studios? You know, what's the most recent game studio that you're into?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it down with I'm gonna say Kojima Productions. I love everything they do. Yeah. I mean, they're technically a different company or whatever, like a different studio than they were when they were like with Konami, but you know,
Right.
Death Stranding, so awesome. Played that thing till the wheels came off. I obviously love Metal Gear. If anybody knows me, they know that I love Metal Gear to a fault. I was talking about Snake earlier this episode. I have a problem. And you know, I just dig the vibes, and I haven't played Kojima's older stuff though. Unfortunately, I haven't played like Police Knots or Snatcher, but I'd like to play those.
I didn't even know about those games.
Those
How
are like
old are
they're
those?
like visual novel point and
Those are deep
click
cuts.
type games.
Oh,
Yeah, they're super
okay.
old. They were like for like some kind of pre-PC computer. Like I think it was the MSX, something like that. I don't know. I haven't played them.
What
Suffice to
do
say,
you,
so I want to play those.
Yeah.
But yeah, Koji Pro. I just trust that
What
guy.
do you kind of want them to do? Next?
You know, dude,
Like
it's what everybody wants. It's for them to make the next Silent Hill game. Because so they made PT, which then,
Yep.
or I say they, I mean like Kojima is really, at the end of the day, Kojima is who I'm talking to about. But
right.
they made PT, which stood for playable teaser, and it was like a demo for Silent Hill, and got canceled, got canned. Kojima got kicked out of Konami, and then super bad blood. But there's rumors going around that Konami has licensed Silent Hill to a quote well-known Japanese developer. So that would be pretty cool.
And I don't know if you saw recently, Evan. I want to hear your take on this. But so Phil Spencer,
Xbox
right?
guy.
Xbox guy. He, whenever he does like interviews and shit, he'll put shit in the background.
Oh, to like tease stuff.
Sometimes they're little Easter eggs, right? Sometimes they tease larger stuff. Example, right? He had an Xbox One X or whatever, or One S, the white one. It was just in his background for like a year, and no one noticed it.
I heard about that. That was funny.
Yeah, but in the recent example of this, Evan, he has the Kojima Productions, the flag dude,
Ludens,
what's his
the
name?
new mascot since
Ludens,
they broke up.
right there, right, their mascot. He had it right next to an Xbox.
Oh no! Wait, no! I want it for PS5. I want it for PS5.
I thought Kojima Productions was part of Sony though. The new one?
They are
Death Stranding's a second.
Yeah, they're
party, right?
well. I think they received a lot of funding from Sony to make Death Stranding, but I don't think they are technically like owned by Sony.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah, they're not. They're so. I mean, I guess the assumption is right that it might be announced soon. Is that Xbox might scoop them up.
Well, there's also like there's been talk. This would suck for me, but like Xbox, there's been a rumor for a long time that Xbox is actively trying to acquire, or Microsoft, I suppose, is actively trying to acquire a Japanese developer to kind of expand their market into the East. So they tried when Sega sold off their arcade assets a couple months ago, like everyone thought that the big Sega news was not that. They thought it was going to be that they actually got bought by Microsoft. Was not the case. So we'll see.
So, and Microsoft, we've seen they're just on a buying spree.
They bought fucking Bethesda,
recently, right?
dude.
They're just getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it would make sense, I guess, if Microsoft did pick up Kojima.
Yeah, I mean, it's either
Productions,
that or like From Software, which is like a huge sad for me either way.
Oh, dude, yeah, they bought.
Well, I play on the
Software.
PC anyway, so I guess that'll be fine
I mean,
with me,
I would
but-
be able to play it on the PC, but like these types of games are like on my couch. That's where they belong.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's, they haven't. The proof will be in the pudding, I guess, when they eventually do actually come out with a game after buying all these studios. If they will put it on multiple consoles or not.
We'll see.
We haven't.
I mean,
seen it
like
yet,
if
right?
they
But-
were, I would think like Switch, not PlayStation, probably, but because they're like they're less of direct competitors. Like they have kind of different markets.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We'll have to see.
It would be
but-
cool to see like Xbox, what's the game streaming service? Whatever that is, like on the Switch.
Yeah.
That would
The
be cool.
Game
yeah,
Pass?
or game, yeah, no, what's
Is it
something
Game Pass?
cloud? No, it's not Game Pass is the service. It's called X Cloud. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about just.
Yeah, no,
Game
but
Pass
they
in
have
general,
they have their
like
own
if you could do Game
streaming
Pass
service.
with xCloud.
Yeah,
on the
that would be
Switch.
tight. People have been talking
that'd
about
be
that
great.
for a while. That's been a rumor that will happen. Hasn't happened. All right, well, this has been a long one for Kojima Productions.
No, I mean this is a great conversation.
Casper, how about you?
I think probably one of my favorite studios is just Square Enix. They make so much, and way back when I was a kid, like Kingdom Hearts 1, that was just one of my
Banger.
favorite games. Yeah. Even Final Fantasy. I think actually my favorite Final Fantasy wasn't a lot of people's. Final Fantasy. Oh, I can't remember what number it was now. 12.
Who's
I
in
think.
it? Oh, I didn't play 12. Is that the one in Ivalice though?
No, I don't think so. It's like a bunch of different continents.
Okay.
It's the one with the Vaughn. He has, I don't know, like a vest but no shirt.
Yeah. I think that's one of the Ivalice ones. I don't know. I haven't played that many of them.
A lot of people didn't like that one. I liked it a lot though. I thought the world was really cool. The
Yeah.
story was interesting. Like the main bad guy in that one, it wasn't even like some god destroying anything. It was just some guy trying to make the world better, but he did it like through bad intentions, kind of.
Mm-hmm. We
And,
live in a society.
Square Enix just makes so much. They make
Yeah.
what's it called? Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that's like a neat. Well, they bought out IDOS, so now they own them for for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, my probably favorite Square Enix game is, if not the Kingdom Hearts games, like Nier is probably the next one, and then Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, I forgot they even did Nier.
Yeah, they
that's
own
another
Nier.
one.
Yeah, that's another good
Yeah.
one. I have not played the Mana games. Have you played them, Casper? Like Secret of
No.
Mana or any of those follow-ups to
No.
that? Yeah.
I didn't really know about them until recently because I see it on Steam, like they re-released it or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, they are. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of games for yeah, pretty much something for everybody,
Yeah.
I
right?
think so. I think they probably they try to like diversify their library, and they'll even
Maybe.
make
Variety.
these like very casual games out of their like hardcore game bones. You know, like I guess I don't want to call Kingdom Hearts hardcore, but like there's the newest Kingdom Hearts game is like a rhythm
pretty
game.
hardcore.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, sure, why not? You know, and then like there's all those like mobile games based on Final Fantasy that are like, you know, my mom could probably play those if she wanted to. So I think they are. Yeah, they try to have a product for every person.
Yeah.
Kody, what's up?
So the one I picked, yeah, I don't know if it's my favorite. But as a topic, I think we can probably revisit this and give some shout outs to some other studios later on. But the one I picked was Insomniac Games, actually. So you know, they just got picked up by PlayStation. They have this like long history with PlayStation. Kind of makes sense. And I guess the story behind the scenes is PlayStation has been trying to buy them for like a really long time, but they just never agreed on a price or whatever. And so PlayStation ended up buying them at it was 229 million in 2019, which is kind of a steal.
I think so, considering when you hear how
especially
much
since they're working.
like Microsoft paid for Bethesda.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing, right? Like Microsoft like probably overpaid by a lot, but it's just to have Bethesda, right? Because they have so much underneath them. So you know, if I'm looking at the long history of games, right? They got Spyro on the PlayStation, then they jumped to PlayStation 2. They're making Ratchet.
Ratchet and Clank 1 was like one of my favorite games on PS2 when I was a kid.
Yeah, like it's just, you know, games that I've been playing like forever. Like my introduction to gaming was like Ripto the Rage. You know what I mean? Or
I had a
Ratchet
fun
and
fact
Clank.
for you. Did you know that it's called
lay it on me.
Ripto? The character is called Ripto because the katakana in Japanese for Spyro look like the word Ripto in English. And when they saw the cover of the Japanese one, they're like, "Who's Ripto?" "Oh, it says Spyro." "Oh, okay." And then they like just changed. They decided to name a villain Ripto.
That's really funny, yeah. But yeah, so like if I'm looking at the way that this studio's kind of changed, you know, they got like mascot, like 3D platformers, but then they also like transition into making Resistance.
That was like a big
Like
jump.
first person. Yeah, which is a series I would love to see a remaster for on the PS5.
Never played it. I was
Insomniac, if you're listening.
What's Resistance
I
even
think
about? I don't actually know.
Aliens, I think.
Yeah, it's aliens, dude.
It's like the
Fucking sick.
4 eyeball skull,
the fact-
you know, and they get like crushed. Like that's like the
Yeah.
ad for it.
Okay.
Dude, the fact that Killzone gets all this love and
Yeah. Does
don't know if
Killzone
they
get that
will
much
continue
love?
to
I
get
don't
all the
know anyone
love,
that
but-
actually likes Killzone.
that's the thing, dude. It's like I think they should have pushed Resistance as their first person shooter. I don't know if it can compete with Halo, but I just think there's more meat there in the Resistance
Sure.
world than Killzone. But yeah, I mean, you know, they have stuff like, you know, Sunset Overdrive. They have also been dabbling into some VR games.
Wait, am I stupid? Didn't they make Infamous?
Did they?
That was Sucker
Oh
Punch.
shit! Sorry.
Yeah. Which, you know, I love Sucker Punch too. But then like, you know, recently with all the
Right.
Spider-Man games, which they're fucking sick.
Yeah.
They're like some of the best superhero
Oh
games
my
of all
god,
time.
yeah. Spider-Man and
yeah.
Miles Morales are like those also easily make my top
Yeah.
15 favorite games of all time.
Yeah, so I think, you know, I'm very excited to see what they do now that they're like I mean, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's
Yeah.
coming out, right? So I just think it's a studio that has this like super long history and legacy, but they're still kicking,
tough.
dude, and they're getting bigger. And I think there's two studios underneath them now, that are all doing
Rad.
different stuff. So you assume like Spider-Man 2 and then Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
They did Sunset Overdrive,
Yeah.
which I didn't know that.
Like
It's
the
kinda funny.
only game they did not for Sony was
Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. Right.
Which a lot of the bones of Sunset Overdrive is what made Spider-Man so awesome. Like
Oh, really?
a lot of the mechanics
Yeah,
are like the
absolutely.
same. I've played a little bit of Sunset Overdrive, but it has a lot of similar mechanics. The only thing that Sunset Overdrive has on Spider-Man is it's got Sonic Adventure 2 like soap shoes grinding rails. Yeah. It's rad as hell.
but that's in Ratchet and Clank, right? Yeah. So I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's a game studio that means a lot to kid
Yeah.
me, but also like adult me.
Are you an
know?
adult? Can you say that? I don't think you can say
I
that.
don't know. Look at this
Yeah.
face shape. I'm an adult.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it, guys.
Yeah.
Episode 11. Next episode is gonna be it's the original episode 11. It's gonna be Outer
Yes.
Wilds episode 12.
Yeah.
Joe will be on it.
Joseph.
Yeah, he's been our
Patton
guest
Howard.
once before, so we'll have him on the show again. We're looking forward to that. I would like to thank you, listeners, for listening to our wonderful show. And I want to thank my wonderful
course.
co-host for being so wonderful. I
course,
think I'm
sure.
pretty wonderful. I think video games are wonderful. And I think the word wonderful is wonderful. So thank you all and have a great night.